Hey guys, this video today we're going to talk about rowing tips. We do rowing every single week here. We're actually very good at rowing. We spend a lot of time on it, but I always wanted to have a series of videos for you guys to prep for the workouts. Maybe this is your first time using a rower. Maybe you use a rower a lot. You get in the Metcon and you're not thinking about mechanics, body position, little things like where my hands go, where my feet should be, damper settings and whatnot. If we're doing meters and it's a long row, we're doing cals and it's quick. So we're going to touch base on a few of these things, okay? So when we get back, we can be more efficient. With everything we do, skills, weightlifting, conditioning components, efficiency is key. Once we're efficient, we can do more and then results get better and whatnot. If we always do the same thing over and over again without trying to improve our efficiencies and refine our skills and movement patterns, we can't really get better at that, okay? So when it comes to rower, seems pretty simple, right? Sit in there and start pulling, okay? The funny thing is the first thing we're doing is actually pushing, okay? Well, let's go backwards for a second. Let's just talk about setup. So first thing is, obviously, just sit in that seat. Now, when it comes to damper settings, you know, a lot of people, we have all these numbers here, 1 to 10. We set all these rowers pretty much on anywhere between 5 to 6. It's not really a big thing. When this was designed, the damper settings is resistance, okay, and wind resistance. So we used to set them to 10 because we thought, oh, you know what, it's harder, we pull harder, but again, inefficient. When we're doing something that would be a marathon, like which we would never do here, 10,000 meters and on, you would set the damper nice and high, so it forces you to pull hard and very controlled and slow. The reason we keep it in the middle of the road, if it's too low, usually that's a strength thing too. So if my kids are doing this, I put it at 1 and let them go because that's enough resistance for them. For most of us, anywhere, again, I said 5 to 6, 5 to 7 is enough, okay? If you put it higher, it's not gonna make you better or faster, okay? It just depends on the workout we're doing. But for most of our workouts, we're gonna have that setting 5 to 6, okay? So let's talk about once we get into the saddle. So now I'm in the rower, my damper setting, I'm not even gonna worry about that. The next thing is the foot pads, okay? So we got lots of different settings here, so I'm gonna come in close and there's number settings. So right now I have it below the number settings, but we could have 1, 2, and so on depending on your foot size, okay? But how do I know what works for me? Once I slide my foot in, this strap should be in the middle of my foot or mid-foot, okay? Because if it's too low, my heel may come out. Also, if it's too high, I'm gonna feel a lot of pressure on that bone in my foot and it's not gonna be comfortable, okay? So about mid-foot, so I can get a good grip there. So I'm gonna slide in and I'm gonna pull the straps, okay? Now, since we're talking about these foot pads, another thing is, especially if we were sharing, obviously we're not sharing right now, but if we were, how to come out of this easily, okay? So the easy way to come out is I'm gonna point my toes to my chest, pushing that strap buckle down, and you can see it opens up nice and loose on both. Kick my foot out, up, out, easy, okay? So let's get a reset in here. So we're strapped in, about mid-foot. I found what's worked for me. I'm just below 1 here. Now, the next thing is I'm gonna grab my handles, okay? So when it comes to grabbing the handles, people usually do one of two things. They're just gonna pick it up here, or they're gonna pick it up somewhere here. Now, if we're here, you wanna think about any kind of movement that we're doing with pulling. If I do this, you can see I have no range of motion, right? When it comes to pulling, we're using our back. So I wanna use as much of that big muscle as possible, so I'm gonna open my hands out, okay? Again, I like to use the whole handle. I used to say pinkies off, but I like to have a full grip. I go thumbless. If you find that you're really overworking your arms, grab it with your thumbs and that's gonna keep you in a better position, okay, from over pulling with the biceps. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, from here, and we wanna start rowing, I said it's not pulling, it's pushing first, okay? What does that mean? We have a saying here, our cue is legs, arms, arms, legs. Why is that? Because obviously our legs are the biggest muscle we have. We're gonna push from our heels, okay? Never are we on our toes, okay? Again, broken record here with the heels. same thing applies to rowers. Those heels in the holder here, what that does, it prevents me from getting out of position. If I come my toes, this is past my range of motion, okay? And same thing on the way back. So if you're 5'0", you have a specific range of motion. If you're 6'7", you have a bigger, greater range of motion. It is what it is, okay? So, but we want to talk about being efficient and using what we have to be efficient in the rower, okay? So if I'm 5 feet tall, I'm not going to come all the way here. You can see my position here, okay? And I'm not going to go all the way back here, okay? That's, once this is overextended past our range of motion, we lose a lot of power, okay? I know I'm talking a lot. We talk about foot, we talk about grip, okay, and setup. So now we're set up. I want to think about keeping my chest tall the entire time, my heels locked down, okay? I'll have a full grip here. Now the next thing is, where do I pull, okay? So I push with my legs, now I have to pull with my arms, okay? The moment I bend early, I'm using a lot of bicep, and the higher and further I pull, I'm gonna start taking over these little muscles and not my big muscles. So I wanna pull anywhere from my sternum down, okay? So I'm pushing, then I'm gonna pull, okay, nice and low. Again, range of motion. I'm getting my elbows back and my lats are being involved. Whereas if I'm here, I'm stuck. And then the other thing is the higher I start to come, I'm pulling with my little biceps compared to my back. Okay, so keep that in mind. There is no benefit pulling up here. It's silly, and then this is out of position already. It's already off the rocker, okay? Now I said push, so legs, arms. Now from here, when it comes to being efficient, whether I'm gonna go for 5 cals as hard as I can, or I'm going to row 1,000 meters, my return on the rower is very controlled and 3 to 4 seconds. So I just ended my pull. Now I'm going to return arms, legs. That pull 3 to 4 seconds. Okay, so in real time, I'm pulling, nice and controlled. What I'm doing is making sure that this chain is staying on the cable, and once it starts moving, it becomes off balance and it's not being efficient. The second thing is, we always equate this to actual rowing. So if I'm in the water, my paddles are going through the water, pulling me forward. My paddles come out above the water, nice and easy. Again, if I go fast back, I'm gonna come out of position, 1. 2, there is nothing happening on the going back here, okay? So again, I always tell people, like, what happens if I keep my paddles in the water back and forth? You're going nowhere or you're going in circles, right? Same thing applies, okay? And you could test this when you're here. No matter how fast you go back, you're actually gonna end up going slower. Everything is in the power of that pull. I can pull faster and harder, but no matter what, I basically am gonna shut down for 3 to 4 seconds on that return, okay? And how do I know if I'm becoming faster and whatnot? We would talk about our pace per 500 meters and all that stuff. So we talked about keeping those heels locked in, where I'm setting the straps, hand position, okay? Keeping my chest tall. So again, range of motion. Once my heels are locked, this is it. To get further, all right guys, we finished the video here talking about range of motion, okay? Still seeing a lot of people reaching, thinking that, oh well, someone super tall can get from there to there. Again, your height is your limitation, and that's okay. Doesn't mean you can't be fast or powerful, because there's obviously a strength component to this. So, heels are locked in, chest tall, okay? How do I know I'm coming out of position? Caving, okay? Again, loading, simple thing, loading. Okay, so I'm gonna keep that chest tall. This is it. This is my range of motion where I'm starting from. I'm ending here. Okay, again, leg drive, so I'm pushing. And then as I pull, the next thing is, this is not my range of motion. There is a slight tilt to open the hips, and that's okay, but it's about here. That's it. Once you get into this motion, again, like I said, start to use the arms to get that pull, and it's inefficient, okay? And then momentum takes over. So as I'm here, this is my starting range, pull, slight tilt there, and that's it, to get that extra little range, and back. And this is it, okay? Again, it's all in that power of that pull, okay? So driving, pushing from the legs, and then pulling with the arms, returning the same fashion. Again, we'll have more videos like this, talking about different tips and simple things to make us more efficient in all the moves we do here. Thanks.